right, and welcome back to another episode of the Perspective Podcast. Today, I am joined by my first female co-host of the show. I'm so glad to have her on tonight. She goes by the name of Callie Frio, aka Amy Grindhouse, aka Jazz. But I'll let her introduce herself to you all tonight. And so, but I call it Jazz or Frio. So Frio, what's goody? What it do?
Thanks for having me, Marty. Grateful to be sharing this space with you tonight. Sorry, excuse the dogs.
It's no
Happy
problem.
Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day
Um,
indeed.
it's Earth Day, and rest in peace to Shock G.
Rest in peace, Shock G. That news just came across. Oh my goodness.
Oh, but yeah, I go by Jasmine Frio, Amy Grindhouse, Jazzo, whatever you want to call me. However you met me is that's how you know me.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And she's the illest on the ones and twos. You know what I'm saying? So
Thank
that's
you.
if y'all know, you know what I'm saying. And if you don't, you're gonna get familiar tonight. So let's just kind of take it back just a little bit. I'll just kind of intro to how we met. We met through a mutual friend named Rome. He mentioned to you that I had like a hat brand. Well, I have a hat brand, and you were like, "Yo, like I do like creative, like directing, everything like in between." And I was like, "Word, like, I don't know what none of that is," because at that point I was about a year and a half into the business, and I was just getting my feet wet. You know, like making sure new merchandise is out, making sure everything between. So Frio comes in from Cali one day, from LA one day, and Ron was like, "Yo, like I'm a like introduce you to my homegirl, like da da da." And
Star.
yeah, we met at a bar, like literally.
Baton
And
Rouge. No, we were in Baton Rouge. Okay. Yeah, Rome had been telling me about you for years and years and years. I'm like, so when am I gonna meet this nigga? So go ahead.
straight up. So we met. You helped direct a couple different creative director of like not just like
Oh,
commercials, but
we
photo
met at Barnes
shoots.
and Nobles.
Barnes and Noble. Yep.
That was our first link up ever.
The the parking lot of Barnes and Noble was like posted up, chopped it up,
Yep.
got medicated. You know what I'm saying? And we discussed everything under the sun. And
That shit was
y'all for the first time to meet somebody that I've never met in my life, that was like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that was super dope. So yeah, everybody, this is Callie Frio, everybody. And so you got ties to born in Louisiana, is that correct?
so I was born and raised in Palmdale, California. So that's like in between like LA, the Valley, then you got Palmdale and then Bakersfield, San Diego, and all that shit.
Okay.
So basically my mom's born and raised in California. My dad's from Opelousas, Louisiana.
Okay.
So they were never an item. Like when I was born, they weren't even together. So I would go spend summers with him and his family in Opelousas, and then I would fly back to Cali. When it was time to go back to school. So I was back and forth all the time. So I am the culture. Like that's my second home, whether I wanted to be or not. Like because my dad. So
Straight up. Straight up. So some of those early memories from like Cali to Louisiana, like what are some of your early memories like just in Cali, like growing up?
honestly, not a lot, cause man, I was really young, and I didn't really get to see my dad a whole lot because he got locked up at a certain point. So
Yeah.
once he went away and came back, I started going back out there like at 12. So I remember like my cousins kind of knowing who I was and
Yeah.
was like, who's this? Like, who's this trying to be in our family and shit? Like, nigga, no, I've been here. Like, y'all just don't like, we just don't remember each other from little kids. But I had to restart my relationship with my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, because that whole time my dad was gone, like I couldn't
Just
really,
a
I didn't know
disconnect.
them like that. Yeah. So it was cool getting to know everybody, and you know, there's some dope people, man. I love my other family. And so eventually I spent the rest of my life in California basically. Uh I will say I got in trouble like seventh or eighth grade. I got in trouble. My mom thought I was trying to gang bang and I got my first ticket and shit. So she was like, "You're gonna go to your dad." I was like, "Whatever." So she sent me to my dad's. I went to Opelousas Junior High for like a week or something. Hated it, bro. Like just being the new girl from Cali. Everybody like the fuck, like culture shock.
Culture shock. Yeah.
Culture shock. My dad, he's different. Like I had to relearn my dad again and shit. So I got my shit together and I went back to Cali, finished high school. After I finished high school, graduated, and then I went to LSUE. I moved back. So I went to LSUE,
Yeah.
had a job here and there, and then I moved to BR. And after that, I knew I was in the right place.
Yeah. So talk to us about BR a little bit. Like what was
Man.
and what year is this? Because you gotta put it in like perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like
So I graduated high school 2009. So I probably like 2010, I officially moved to Louisiana. Opelousas, went to LSUE, dropped out, moved to Baton Rouge in maybe what, 2012, 2011-ish.
mm-hmm.
And I started working at Home Depot, the one by Blue Bayou. That was
Yep.
my first job out there. So lit, met hella people, like whatever. And then I started working at Lids.
Mm-hmm.
And that really put me on the map. So working at Lids, not knowing anybody or anything about shit. Like I had a few cousins that live in BR. So I only knew like people knew me because of my cousins or
Mm-hmm.
something. But nigga, I remember Kevin Gates came into Lids one day at the Mall, Louisiana, asking me to make hats. I didn't know who the fuck he was.
Yep. This is Kevin Gates with the dreadlocks, everybody.
Luca Brasi. So even Mr. Kane, wherever he is in the world, like he came
Yep.
in, I didn't know who he was. I was like, okay. So yeah, Liz really put me on the map. I met some star key players just working there and like designing hats all day for people.
Yep.
She was lit.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a small thing. And Reggie was on last night, and me and Reggie we talked about
Oh.
we talked about just kind of how like Lids, it's like this hub, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like a general store where everybody just kind of goes one way or another. Like if you're looking for like either a hat or like a jersey, a t-shirt, just whatever the case. But you know, like the hat store, everybody just stops off in the hat store.
We get our flowers for that. Like we was really stylists for real because niggas would come in with fits like I need a half of this. I just got these shoes. Like we was really like styling niggas out there. So
That's a fact.
shout out to Lids, even though I hated working there.
Oh,
Shout
yeah.
out to Lids. Shout out to Rome. Shout out to Reggie. Man, shout out to B. Like we all turned out to be
We did something.
cool. Yeah.
We took the game and did something different with what Lids presented. So, but that's pretty much what it is. And so going from Cali, coming back to Louisiana, doing the LSUE for a minute, like were there any like college parties, like because that led you to like this creative directive space, or was it like something in college, or did something happen prior to?
No, so I was going to college like literally for my dad's sake. Like I just was doing that for them. So I was taking psychology. I think I wanted to be like a social worker at the time or whatever. So I was doing that. Didn't work out. So I started working at a supermarket in Opelousas at Benny's Big Star. And then didn't really care for that too much, but I met a lot of cool people, man. Like just being in customer service. So being in Opelousas, being miserable in that small ass town, I finally get to live in BR and like lids really opened the door, like for real, like just designing the hats, doing embroidery, that shit. That's how I launched my first brand, Creofornia. And
Speak
it
on that.
beanie. Yeah, it was a beanie and it had big ass letters in the utensil stencil font, HBIC.
Yeah.
California under it. And I had HBIC for the girls and I had HNIC for the men.
Yep. I know the vibes.
Yeah, so
I know the vibes.
that's where it really opened. And that was just for fun for me. I didn't even make money off of that. I was doing it just to put niggas on, like, here, wear my shit. Yeah. So that's how it happened.
Yeah, most definitely. And so the name, whenever I met you, it was Amy Grindhouse, like at the time. Like that was like the alias at that particular time. So where did Amy Grindhouse come from, and what all falls underneath that umbrella?
That's a long story, but I'm gonna make it short. So Amy Grindhouse. So at a point in time, like I went through this phase where I was just super obsessed with Amy Winehouse. Like had all her albums, like watched all her documentaries. Like I was really like missing her for some reason. Like she's a legend for real.
Beautiful soul. Beautiful
Oh
soul.
my gosh, I miss her every day. But me being that little phase, I met this girl and I was in a relationship with her, and she was like, okay, so she came up with this name because she was running a blog at the time, and she needed some editors and writers for her blog or whatever, her online magazine. I was like, I'll help you. I was like, but I don't want to be known. Like, I don't want to be put it under my own name. She was like, well, just make an alias. We'll call you Amy Grindhouse. I was like, that's dope. I like it. So I was writing articles, doing all kind of shit under Amy Grindhouse because I didn't want that spotlight. I didn't want the attention. Even
Right.
my Instagram was Amy Grindhouse because I was like, I don't
Facts.
want to be known like like BTS. So that's how that started. Amy Grindhouse was really, and then she became my DJ name. So I just kind of took that, started DJing, making mixes on SoundCloud, and that's where it all began.
Yeah. That's where I'll pick up, because around, it may not have been exactly around that time, but by the time like we met and like we followed each other on like social, SoundCloud, swapped it out, everything. That's whenever I saw like the Amy Grindhouse was like everywhere. Like it was a post here, it was a post there, it was a mix here, it was a new playlist over here. And this is 2000. I moved to BR in 15. So around that time, it was like all types of just new stuff.
So yeah, that time I just left BR and went back to LA, like fresh.
Yeah, and that's what Rome said. Like you came in on like a visit, you know what I'm saying? Just kicking it, seeing family, seeing your peeps, showing love. And so from Amy Grindhouse with mixes and SoundCloud and everything, what was, because obviously like music is a whole nother language, you know what I'm saying? That some people just speak, and if sounds match, they match, you know what I'm saying? So what got you into music so heavy? Was it how certain records made you feel, or was it just how like records were like constructed? Like what was it?
Honestly, like I think when I was in the womb, I was already like in it to win it.
Yeah.
Like listening to my mom or whatever my dad was listening, like that shit had me already ready to go because all I know is music. All I remember was music. Like I can tell you what I was listening to in the 90s to 2000s to now. Like music is like how I stamp things that happen in my life because I have a horrible memory. So I can listen to a song and tell you exactly where I was before I remember just off fresh in my mind. So but honestly, the whole Amy Grindhouse DJing mixing thing came. I got a good friend of mine. He's from New Orleans. He's a poet. He's an illustrator. His name is Nick Richard. Follow him, you guys, at Nick Richard, NickRichard. He sent me this mix on SoundCloud. It was called "The Art of Listening" by Brill Garcia. And that shit's so cold. It's probably like an hour long. And I remember I used to listen to that shit. And in between her mix, it's a lady, by the way. She's dope. Like, in between her mix, she had like little voice memos of her friends, like saying things about her and like positive things. Like, it was dope. I was like, I love this. So that really, really motivated me to like start experimenting with it. Yeah. So even though I wouldn't say I copied her, but she definitely influenced me to try.
It's a blueprint.
Yes, for sure. So shout out to Bro Garcia. She's dope and fire.
Love that for sure. And so just for the people that don't understand exactly what a creative director exactly is, just one more time, like if you had to put it in your own words, like describe creative director from your point of view.
Well, I'm glad you gave me that label. I guess, just having a vision, being a visionary, like just having a vision, an idea, and knowing how to execute. That's a creative director in my eyes. Like anybody could be a creative director. You just gotta have the vision and the tools.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it's just like with different things that you see in these different eras, like the 90s. It was a lot of the 90s. It was either to me, I look at the 90s and I break the 90s up in three different ways, right? You got your New Jack Swing, you have your R&B, and then you have like your emergence of hip hop, like from Wu-Tang, the Tank with No Limit, Biggie, Pac. Like you have all these different sounds that are like flourishing at the same time, including Outkast out in the ATL, Dungeon Family, everything they were doing, Uncle Luke, all them down in Miami, like all the crazy stuff they were doing. All these different sounds are emerging, right? At the same time. So what would you say is like from the 90s up to present day, what would you say is maybe like your favorite like music era today? And while you ponder on that, like I too look at music as timestamps because for me, like junior high was like crunk era, like when Lil Jon first kicked in the door. You know what I'm saying? So that's like a timestamp for me. So that's one of those times that I'll hold near and dear to my heart. And I think trap kind of is a subgenre of crunk to an extent.
Okay, I like that breakdown. I do. Um, I guess I'm gonna just have to say early 2000s was my favorite era because that's when I was able to get my hands on a lot of content to know about what the fuck was going on, because in the 90s I didn't really have much knowledge of, but I knew music, but I didn't know like the logistics of music. So the 2000s, I was getting Source, Vibe, Double XL. I was getting all that shit sent to the house every month.
Ozone, man.
So yeah, I was reading, I was doing my shit because I didn't really have friends like that. So like just I like to read. So I was just flipping through magazines all the time, watching Music Choice, watching MTV Jams all day long nonstop. Then I have my little Hello Kitty headphone player. So that's all I had. And then even like playing video games, boom, pop a CD in and play video games, listen to music. So 2000s, like that was it. That's the era.
Yeah, the 2000s definitely shaped a lot of what is today because for the main genre like hip hop is still young. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
maybe 40 years old, maybe. You know what I'm saying? And it could be even 50. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely
yeah,
it's definitely not older than 50. So hip hop is still young. It's still evolving, and I don't think a lot of younger kids, it's crazy to say that, but like a lot of younger kids, they don't understand like the evolution of music, like how it went. Like it literally went vinyls, tapes, CDs, MP3s, streaming. Well, download to your computer.
LimeWire.
Yeah, download to your computer, but LimeWire, Live Mixtapes, Dat Piff, all them, Two Dope Boys, like all them, and then that led into the streaming era, and so as a consumer of music, what do you think was like the best like way to digest music? Like streaming, physical purchase?
I can't say that there's a best way because every way is the best way, because I was just finding music however I could find it. I'm gonna tell you this funny story. I was probably like in first grade, and these music videos used to come on VH1, maybe I think it was.
Yep.
And I
Yeah,
used to wait for the Fugees to come on, like what was that music video where they was in the movie theaters? Oh, Killing Me Softly. So when that first came out, I remember I took my Shirley Temple VHS, popped that motherfucker in, and recorded over Shirley Temple all music videos. So I could go back, rewind, and watch that shit. So yeah, I mean, however I could find music, that's how I could find the radio. Like LimeWire was a big component of my life.
Rest in peace to all the computers that died.
Rabbit hole for sure. That was a huge rabbit hole. Like I found so much shit on there.
Before like YouTube was what it is today, like LimeWire was a legit like deep dive. Like
that was the dark web for sure. Like we knew we wasn't supposed to be on that motherfucker, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like I'm right here.
I'm like destroying like everything. Like I can't tell you how many computers I've destroyed.
HPs, you name it.
Dells.
So fast.
I've destroyed some computers. Thanks, Mom, for always letting me like use them. But like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, most of those things. And so I think with music, just how it is today, it is like super like instant, like it's in and it's out. You know what I mean? So I do miss that part of the 2000s, even like early last decade, like up to 2012. Let's just say up to when Take Care dropped. Like albums stuck, like they stuck. You were locked in for 3 weeks with an album, a month with an album, and it wasn't the so say like turn up era. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't, everything wasn't just so instant. Everything wasn't just so,
wasn't overwhelming,
and it wasn't as many
to look forward to. Do you remember the very first album you bought from?
Yeah, yeah. The very first album I bought was 50's Get Rich or Die Trying. My mother took it from me 2 days later.
Nice.
So, what was your first joint?
I think my first like CD-ROM purchase was Spice Girls, the first album.
Yeah. Now don't get me wrong. Like in that time frame, like pop music was crazy. Like
I was a big pop girl.
But pop's blended into hip hop now. So like the worlds merged. Like somewhere along the line, I'm not sure if it was with Christina Aguilera or the Britney Spears that just kind of like fused them, or Timberlake doing his thing.
I think they definitely opened a door for that to exist. They had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, most definitely.
Watch.
Say what?
It was a beautiful thing to watch, to witness that.
Yes, most definitely, because
it's outside of that.
Oh no, like you had to be outside, and if you don't know, you just missed out. You might have to go like pull up some clips. I was thinking about this the other day whenever I was looking at you mentioned like VH1, right? And VH1 used to show music videos. Of course, MTV used to show videos. And I was looking at like MTV Spring Break, rest in peace DMX. He may have had the most legendary like summer, spring, spring break performance. You know what I mean? Like it looks like the entire earth is watching. like
all the population was there.
Everybody was there. Like I've never seen anything like that. And I think that has a little bit to do with like the crossover as well, because I mean, like it's MTV. It's us as Black people, we normally lived on BET, but at a certain point when MTV started kind of going away from like some of their like series and TV shows, and they went more full-time music. I think that has to do a lot with the like the cross genre situation.
Yeah, for sure. I remember TRL. And then I'd be like, man, once I discovered 106 in Park, TRL, that was a wrap.
TRL, it was over with. Sucker Free. Lala was on Sucker Free. Like, you know what I mean? Like on Rap City in the Basement, Big Tig. Like they used to do their thing. So it's definitely something to look back on culture and just kind of see how far we've come in this as well. And so, yeah, super fast. And then just getting back into like DJing here, like what actually like made you pick up the ones and twos? Like was it like a party? Was it somebody was like, yo, we got something going down tonight, hold the room down? Because I know I've been thrown in those many times.
I mean, the ones and twos, like I'm still like learning that. I haven't really gone like full time with it, but I gotta say, like Bro Garcia, that right there really introduced me to it. And then that right there honestly made me want to learn the ones and twos. Like I was like, how I'm gonna be a mixer or a DJ, or Arrow likes to say a selector. If I want to do that, I need to learn this shit. I gotta look cool. If somebody wants to book me, or if I want to turn up the party, like I gotta know what I'm doing. So that really, virtual DJ is a great tool for me. Like that's
one of my favorites.
Yeah, I learned that way. I used to watch my homies do it. Like a lot of my homies are producers anyway, so I was bound to have to learn that shit working in the studios. So yeah, I would like to get a little bit more raw with it, but I don't know. We'll see
It,
how it goes.
it's a process. It's
It
definitely a
is.
process.
It
So
is.
it's all goody. It's all goody. And you are a part of this camp of, I would say, creatives, camp of DJs, have the Heavily Plugged family. So,
Heavily plugged.
so just kind of speak about who is in Heavily Plugged, what does Heavily Plugged do, and
Heavily Plugged was founded by myself, Sonny Marcello, my good friend, and Low Key, my other good friend. So, another day we'll talk about how I met those two. But however it happened, it happened like magic because like I love those dudes like family. So one day I was at the house, uh, my Wi-Fi was out. I was like bottom like at the bottom like just broke and like just like what the fuck am I gonna do trying to figure shit out. Come here,
yeah,
baby. What's wrong? Hold on. So my Wi-Fi's out. Niggas broke as fuck. You got shit. Like, what am I gonna do? I hit up the homie Low Key. I was like, come through. Uh we gonna figure out something. I need you. Like, bring your computer. Let's get this logo made. Like, I got an idea.
yeah,
And he had Photoshop. He was like, yeah, I know how to do that shit. So he comes, spends the night, and we're like, as he's working on the logo, I'm like, man, what we're gonna call this like little collective? I was like, well, I know somebody that do this. He was like, well, I know somebody to do that, but I need this. He was like, well, so and so. I was like, damn, we're heavily plugged out here. Like,
yeah,
nigga, really like this shit is really coming together. So I was like, heavily plugged. So that's how that came about. He whipped up the logo and boom, we ran with it. So
yeah, yeah.
us three, I remember. And then that shit just grew into whatever it grew into.
So are all you all like Cali based DJs, or like Cali based, or are y'all like spread out?
Yeah, so Sonny's from the Valley, I'm from Palmdale,
Mhm.
and Loki's from LA. So East LA, I should say. So
Oh yeah, y'all definitely well represented. You know what I'm saying?
thank you.
Definitely well represented. And so are like all y'all's mixes like on, is it on like streaming services on like SoundCloud
So
or
basically, Low Key, he's another creative director. He has his own brand too, which is Low Key, and he has mixes with other DJs, but he doesn't actually mix.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
business out there, but yeah, he co-creates or co-curates,
yeah.
and the DJs will blend it. Like me and him have like two mixes together. Now Sonny, he doesn't do music at all. He's just a pure music head, and he's like the Slim, if you will,
Oh
of
no.
the
Yeah.
brand. So he doesn't like spotlights. He
Ghostface.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So that's his role. So whatever the brand needs, if he got it, he's like, all right, cool, let's do it. Boom.
yeah.
That's his role.
That's tight. That's tight for sure. And so uh you hit me up. There was a point whenever you were out here in Houston for a little while, and you uh put like me onto this platform that was called Stationhead. So for the people that have no clue what Stationhead is and like what can be done on Stationhead, just kind of break that down a bit.
Sure. So I probably stumbled around. I was on Twitter. I'm a big Twitter head. And who was it? Kanye had just dropped that album on bipolar, whatever, the bipolar album.
Okay. Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, click this link to hear the new Kanye album listening party." Woo, woo, woo. I was like, "For real?" It didn't have really too many likes or anything. It was Stationhead. I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" But they were verified, so I was like, "All right, fuck it." I go on there. I kid you not, a full live stream. Sure enough, playing all the Kanye tracks before it was even released. So I was
Mm.
like, "This shit cool as fuck." And then I found out it was like made by Raekwon. Raekwon has something to do with it.
Oh
So
wow.
right. So seeing that, I was like, this is pretty cool. I started messing around with it and started peeping how everybody else was using the platform. So I was like, all right, let's try to do heavily plugged. So I found some people that were down to have shows. And J Not J, he was down. I was like, because he's a music head, and I always see him
For
posting
sure.
music. I'm like, why don't you just play music on a radio station? We already got this set up, and he had a podcast too at the time. So his podcast was hard as fuck.
Yeah.
So that's how it was, just me and him at first. Low key wasn't on board yet. But I was like, I'm gonna get that nigga though. I'm gonna get that nigga on here. So me and Jay was going back and forth every week, and then finally low key signed up. And I tried to get Sonny on, but he's not really savvy with he had a hard time with the app. So
Yeah.
he decided not to do it. And then so we were just like, it's three. And then so I knew, I was like, I need another member. And I was like, but I really felt bad because I didn't have the funding to be asking people to just come spend their time like DJing on the show. But I would break off every now and then because we did get a little initiative for every listener that came on the show.
Like,
So that was cool. And they was cutting the check. It wasn't a lot, but they was cutting a check. Like
yeah,
they see what kind of numbers we were doing. So moving forward, and I knew you were a big music head, so I was like, my nigga Mardy, you was at my show faithfully every week, big
we,
support. So I knew you'd be perfect for it. So, and you did well every time you filled in for me, bro.
I loved it. I loved it. That
Salute.
that was like another like evolution of like podding. You know what I'm saying? Like to me,
For
you know what I'm
real.
saying?
For
Because
real.
it's live music. Like for the people that have no clue like what exactly goes on Stationhead, it's not just music. Like I do want to say that like people are having like live shows that are taking place. Like there's a whole bunch of different like morning shows. They may be an hour and 30 minutes. They
Yeah,
may
everyone
be,
has their own station.
yep.
So think of it as, yeah, a station.
Yep, everybody has their own station, and then they develop whatever content that they want underneath it. Some people have like gossip state pages or stations. Some people have gospel. Some people have just music influence, like everything that you can think of. Just
Sports.
like
Yeah.
even if it's just like pop culture like discussions, all that is going on over there on Stationhead. And I definitely thank you and the whole family over there at Heavily Plug for allowing me just to fill in for
Course, thanks for even allowing us to have you. Like, you're a big help, and the team fucks with you, and I consider you a member,
yeah.
honestly.
Most
So
most definitely. You know what I'm saying? That like that's affiliate, you know what I'm saying? But no,
there
I'm
you
I'm,
go.
I'm
There you go.
family for sure. So and then from going and seeing different things in like the music business, there's definitely like levels to the music business. Like you have the artists that you see that are doing mad numbers, like major streams. You have some of those artists that are like just now breaking into the business, and then you have those artists that are looking for. We had this discussion a while back, and I asked you what is the next step, or what do you think is the next step for artists to go from recording their records, putting it out, to actually being on a stage? Don't matter how big the stage is, but how and what should an artist do to go from recording to being on the stage?
Just somebody's that's not on already.
Correct. Somebody
Okay.
new.
My advice, honestly, would be, okay, so first of all, you want to have enough content to begin with. Like, you don't want just one or two songs and be like, yeah, nigga, I made it. No, you're gonna need some throwaways. You're gonna need some that's the ones. You're gonna need some hits. Like, you're gonna need a variety of everything. Features also. Don't just be on the tracks by yourself. Like, get you some features from whoever is down, like whatever's in your budget. Then that's when you start that's when you want to start showing your face on social media.
Yeah.
Get your name out there, build your name, show your face, let people know who you are. Once people, you kind of have a buzz on at least social media, then you can start reaching out to venues and promoters and DJs, like or
Yeah.
you can, like, if you got it like that, create your own little lane and make your own little pop-up performance. Like, anything's possible these days. Like, I really go
Facts.
for the people that create their own lanes rather than the niggas that do the blueprint shit. Like,
Mhm.
show me a new way, like impress me, wow me. Like, as a person that looks for talent, that's what I look for.
Yeah. And I think that's something that is missing here, like in the game, like nowadays, and I hate to say like the game, but like in like the music culture, like it's artist development is missing. And those things that you just stated, like features, reaching out to a DJ here, reaching out to a DJ there, uh, creating different sounds, that goes such a long way. Because if you are artist that's the street records, right? Let's just say you're an artist that does street records. If you like work with an artist that is an R&B artist, I'm sure everybody has an R&B record somewhere in the tuck. That can
And that's
take
a
you.
whole new audience for you.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
Exactly. That's just like it's a reason why like Meek, like I'll use Meek Mill for example. He has those records with like Chris Brown, PNB Rock. You can there's a reason, and aside from Ja Rule and Ashanti being a part of Murder Inc., there's a reason why Ja Rule had Ashanti on records to, like you say,
Smart.
it opens up the door. You know what I mean? And other people like get a chance to come through, check you out, see what's going down. So I think artist development is something that's missing in today. And I think that that has something to do with some of these labels, even though there's not many just major labels around anymore like there were a decade ago or even in the
Very
2000s.
minimal. Yeah.
Yeah, you may have like a handful: Def Jam, Universal, Atlantic, E1, Interscope, Rock Nation, and the list is short. You know what I'm saying?
Like either with them or you with them. Like
Yeah,
very
yeah,
narrow.
it's not many. So I think in today's era, I think like you say, if you are to be a individual, create your own, but you still pull from some other places, you get a chance to grow from there. You get a chance to grow.
You said it best.
And also in this music thing, there's some people are afraid to be ghostwriters, and some people don't actually know like ghostwriting etiquette. So uh if you had to put together like a blueprint for like ghostwriting, like do's and don'ts, what would you say? Like what would you say are some of those what would be on that short list there?
Goodness gracious, you coming with the heat. Man, um, so if I was a ghostwriter personally, I would just lay low, be super behind the scenes. I probably wouldn't even have a social media presence because seeing another nigga get the shine that you're responsible for can be a little ego hurting or whatever. But um, like you said, there is probably a certain etiquette. And I think about this often, like, what do ghostwriters really do? Like, how do they live their lives like their hidden life like that? Like even Quentin Miller, like shout out to Quentin Miller.
Shout out,
He's into my top five.
shout
So
out, Quinn.
yeah, like if you have a big ego, don't be a ghostwriter.
Rule number one, because you get your feelings hurt.
You will get your feelings hurt. And not to say he got his feelings hurt, but he got the bad end of the deal
Yeah.
two ways.
Yeah.
And that really probably hurt his feelings. So, I mean, like I said, don't have an ego. Don't want to be popping. Don't change. Like, if you know you gonna be behind the scenes with it, be behind the scenes with it, and just like reap the benefits behind the scenes because that's what you signed up for.
Exactly.
So, but I'm pretty sure that I want to know what do you think the etiquette is for that? Like, how would you move?
I think I definitely wouldn't have like solo records out. There's a ghostwriter in
Yeah,
particular.
I
There's
mean,
there's
kind of
there's a
rejected.
there's a writer in particular, and we'll talk about it off mic because I don't want to say it here. I'm not gonna say it here. There's a writer in particular, and he does a lot of great writing for a particular artist, and so we'll get to that one later. Uh, but he's put out records and he's tried to like really bubble, but it just don't really hit. So for me, what ghostwriting etiquette would be, I would say just, you know what I'm saying, write those records, like, and make sure like who you're working with is somebody that you actually vibe with,
Yeah,
because don't just take checks because they're throwing you X amount of dollars. One, is the business right? Two, is the vibe right? Three, is this somebody that you could do like long-term business with, because I'm a person of long-term business. Like I'm not really one of those people that like to do like short-term business and cool, like we in and we out. I like to build like relationships to go like further. You know what I'm saying? So I would look for longevity. I would look for good vibes. I would look for just overall good business. And if the good business is right, I'll write. I might have 50 records written that some of y'all may have heard. You'll never know. However, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all about just laying low. You know what I'm saying? And keeping your head down and accept your credit when it comes, and just and you have to accept first. You're not going to get the spotlight. You're not going to be on the interview.
At
Like
least
it's
not
just
right now. Maybe later when all this shit is like over and done with. But you know, you're absolutely right. And same thing goes for like ghostwriter producers. Like there's ghostwriter producers too, and that shit's crazy.
mhm.
That shit get crazy.
And so from going from ghostwriters to the year 2019, right? On the back end of the year 2019, like we start to hear like this thing. It's like, yo, like on the overseas, like people are dealing with this thing called COVID. Over here in America, we're like, fuck is COVID? Like what is going on? Like none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like 2019, like we're ending 2019. Roddy Ricch has the hottest record in the country with The Box. We're approaching festival season. To end 19, we cross over into 20. And I'm not sure how it was out on the West Coast, but in March, that's whenever Texas went on like lockdown. And that stopped everything. Like festivals stopped, live shows stopped, just daily movements stopped, everything we took in particular. So how did COVID did the COVID affect any of like some things that you had planned going forward, or did it stop anything? Did it slow anything down for business?
Uh, well, yes and no. And I can't say anything in particular. It's just created some roadblocks, but honestly, the shit I was doing, I could do pretty much anywhere, anyway.
Mhm.
um you know, as far as the festivals and the concerts and shit goes, like that was something like that's a hobby of mine that I like to do. But I mean, honestly, it was fine for me. Like I'm an introvert anyway, and I didn't give a fuck, and I was gonna go anywhere I wanted to go anyway.
Yeah,
Like I was still working probably up until like March, and then that's when I kind of started laying low and had to figure out like how to motivate and get a different hustle from being at the house, and that shit kind of it helped me grow. It did, and working from home was a whole nother cool little experience. I've always wanted to work from home, so I got to experience that, even though it wasn't all that great.
right,
I thought, but you know,
right.
was different. And yeah, I was still able to go back to Cali, even though a lot of shit was closed. It was ghost town. I went to Cali. I even came came to Louisiana once, like for a funeral. So it really didn't stop shit because I'm a rebel anyway. And you know, I'd be like, fuck the system.
Always.
And that shit was a scandemic. I still don't think that shit was all the way real. Like
Yeah.
I don't. It's just something about COVID I never trusted.
Yeah. Same. You know, I do have my feelings about COVID. Like, do I think that it's a sickness? Do I know that it's a
Yeah,
sickness? Absolutely. Do I
I
think that
definitely
it's
had it. I definitely had it.
I think I had it too. I'll be honest. I'll be honest here. Like I'm one of those people that's like, all right, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go have a good time. I'm gonna stay like in my bubble with my people. But as soon as you step outside the crib, like COVID's in the air. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Allegedly.
exactly
I
like
think I think niggas had it before we knew what it was.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like definitely like some of my homies. I think me and you we had a discussion sometime around like December, January. And you were like, yo, like I just got over being like this mad sickness. Like you were like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
Nigga just came back from Miami from Art Basel.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely
and a cross country flight. So yeah,
missed work and everything.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think that it is some funny business going on with COVID as well. I'm not one of those pro vaxxers. I'm not. I'll stick to I'll stick to my regular medications that have always helped. And just in between like this COVID, like sitting down, like did you have a chance to like go back to the drawing board, just like recalibrate, like just reset some things, or was it still just so it was pretty much just still business as usual?
It's hard to say because I was in a matrix, like I was really hard in the matrix, like working for the niggas and like not really having time for myself and my brand. So I was in a miserable, dark place, like because I couldn't do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So COVID kind of helped me do what I wanted to do. I was able to flip some thrift here and there. I was able to, like find different hustles to keep it going. I started growing marijuana plants. That was dope. Um, what else did I do? I grew locks.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Nigga joined Clubhouse.
I just deleted the app the other day. I'm not
I
gonna lie.
did too. I deleted my whole shit. But early Clubhouse.
Talk
Before
about it.
public.
Yep.
Wow.
Talk about it.
Nigga, I feel like I saw the future. Like I really went to the future. Like talk about was in rooms with Lupe Fiasco, fucking Beanie Siegel, Freeway, like all these OGs is on this app, and I'm like Kendrick, Absol, like my heroes, nigga, are right here talking openly to anybody, and I'm on stage, like fake stage, like it's crazy networking and talking to like-minded individuals. Finally felt like I always felt like an outcast weirdo misfit, like everywhere I go. That's probably why I move around so much. But nigga, everywhere I go, I'll be like, dang, ain't nobody like me over here. Like, am I weird? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, I don't fit in. So it was a lot of me's on Clubhouse, nigga. I was like, wow, I'm not alone.
No,
So,
not at all.
yeah, we was like basically everybody. It wasn't even on some like I'm trying to shoot your shot type shit as it is now. It was like let's share this wisdom, this knowledge, and let's like escape the matrix. Like we was really like building that way.
Yeah.
Those was the rooms I was in.
Yeah, like Clubhouse is definitely one of those spaces where you do have to like you got to tiptoe in like what you do when because you sent me the initial invite to get on Clubhouse, and whenever I got it, because I heard about it like in the wind, I was like Clubhouse. I was like, what the fuck, like, exactly is going on over there? And so eventually, what I'm saying, like it rolled over to where it's supposed to be, and I started getting in the correct rooms, as you say, because you go on Clubhouse, it's a lot of bullshit rooms. It's a lot of like good rooms. It's a lot of cap going on too in some of those rooms too. So one of my favorite rooms that I was in, and I know it was, I would say it was sometime this year. It was early this year though. Dame Dash had a room, and Dame is one of my favorite people, minds, creative shit talker. Like he's one of those, like to me. And he's also a Taurus brother. Shout out to my dog. And he was in there just kicking good game. And I was like, you know what? I got it. I heard it. Like you said, like you in these rooms with these icons, with these people that you look up to, you have no choice but to take that information and just go for it. Well, the correct people are going to take that info and go forward with it. So I definitely do appreciate the, COVID for producing Clubhouse. I'll put it like that, because
Word on the street, it was around for a cool minute, but it was just like talking about crypto and stuff like that. It was like a lot of nerds on it first, and then the Black people came and took it over. So
as Black people always do with hip hop, right? Anything with hip hop culture, we put our hands on it, and it turns to something so much more. We definitely need how can I put this? We need our compensation. We need our compensation for.
We need our compensation. We need our flowers. We need our what you call that? Reparations. We need all that.
Yeah.
I mean, we do, but we don't, but we do.
Oh no. We need it. No, we need it. We need it.
Like Bando said, nigga need that.
Yeah, nigga need that. For sure. That's for sure. And so with things that go on today in between separating the artist from the art and such examples like Young Thug wearing a dress, right? Lil Nas X with his recent shoe and people like going like crazy over that and people doing like wild stuff just for like clout.
Talk about it.
How and why do you think that this is so popular like in current days?
Blame social media because people get a dead ass adrenaline rush from a like or likes, attention, spotlight, fuckery. Like it's really it's a chemical that releases into like that people look for when they do that. And I blame that, and I blame like just this whole new generation of not having no tact. Like, who raised you niggas? Like,
X.
New generation, this whole TikTok bullshit, like a lot of shit. Yeah, like people get away with too much, and we talked about this on Clubhouse too. It's like, who are really the gatekeepers of the culture?
X.
We letting all this slide.
Who are these niggas?
And it's like the whole Tory Lanez thing. Like, I got canceled on Clubhouse because I said I fuck with Tory Lanez album, which I do. The shit was hard as fuck. Now that was a time where I could separate the artist from the art. Even though I still don't know to this day exactly what went down with him and Meg. Like, I fuck with Meg too, but I can give a nigga credit when it's due. Like, we're not gonna cancel R. Kelly. He did some fucked up shit, but we're not gonna cancel R. Kelly because look at what he did for the culture.
We're not getting rid of Ignition. We're not.
We're just not. When you got hits, you can't get canceled.
We're not getting rid of Step in the Name of the Love. We're not.
Trapped in a Closet.
We're not. like it's, and I do feel terrible for any kind of victim. I definitely
that.
Yeah, no, you're a fucked up individual for that. But what you've created as far as a sound,
that's here forever.
What you want me to do? What you want me to do? I remember in the 90s, like my moms and my pops, like they had like Kells, like CDs. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom and my pops, they do this thing, right? And I shared this with somebody, I don't remember who it was, but my mom, I remember she bought the Blueprint, right? She bought 2 copies of the Blueprint. She actually bought 4 copies. 2 of them were CDs, 2 of them were tapes. She's kept 1 CD and 1 tape in the original plastic to this day. And she plays the tape and she'll play like the CD because over in our corner, like in the house, like she's got like the 8-track at the top. She's got like the stereo where it has like the CD. It has like a 6 CD disc changer, a 5 disc changer, something like that. Then down below, it has like the tape. So I remember like my mom's had Kells, she had Janet, she had Michael, she had Hove, like she had Uncle Luke, like like she had Anita Baker, like she had everybody that you could think of, and anybody that was on Soul Train, she had like the album. Like if they were on Soul Train like that weekend or the weekend before, like later on that week, she would go out, go cop, come back to the house.
Yeah.
And with certain artists, she would do the same thing every time. I say all that to say, like, it's hard to cancel staples in music. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we acknowledge them for doing some disgusting things. Yes, we do that. And they're going to get their whatever they got coming to them. But the music and the content, it stays.
Leave that separate. Like, let's just leave that separate. Same thing like with OJ. Like, niggas not gonna cancel what OJ did for the NFL. Whatever he did, I don't really know, but niggas seem to like him a lot. But nigga did some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
So that's gatekeeping. That's where you gotta like draw. Like, where do you really draw the line at? Like, Chris Brown got canceled respectfully for what he did, but there was proof. There was pictures.
Yeah.
Nigga,
and Chris speaks on what happened to him in that same instance too, but a lot of people don't look at that other side and like, oh no, you should have.
I think the picture really fucked us all up. Like,
oh yeah, that's one of those where it's like, okay, like, can we please erase that from the internet, like, for forever? Like some people have the power.
To R. Kelly, though, not to cut your wisdom, niggas had fucking video of the shit, him peeing on girls.
Oh my God.
Dave Chappelle makes a parody of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Niggas didn't cancel R. Kelly then. Why cancel him now?
Right. Me and somebody were talking about that the other day. Oh my.
So, whatever.
Dog, like me and somebody were talking about that the other day. Like, and this is this is not even on the list, but like how Chappelle, the things that Chappelle were able to pull off on national TV.
Bruh. Comedy Central? What?
Legend for the content, legend for being able to pull that shit off. Like,
legend of the legends, for real.
Yeah, and going back to your original point, just about separating the artists and and what artists get from that being social media. I'll never understand the likes, the clout, the engagement, like, everything in between. Like, I absolutely hate it. Like,
really burnt out.
And I do like look at this, and I'm not going to be like somebody just be like, oh, I don't give a fuck about likes. No, like I'll take a look at somebody's page and they'll have X amount of followers. Let's just say 5,000 followers. They'll post a picture and it's like, or an image or something like that, and it only gets 100 likes. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, how that plays out is your face card must not be 100. You know what I'm saying? Because
off.
Huh?
The follower like ratio is off.
It's off. Something's wrong.
But also, like, algorithms. I think algorithms really is fucking up the game.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like, even like an Instagram algorithm. All I want back from IG is to see shit in order. That's all I want. Like, I'm cool with like the little shop button being down there. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with the bubbles at the top. I'm down with that. I'm down with the live feature. Just show me my shit in order. Like, just show me my stuff in order. Like, that's it. If y'all show the bubbles in order, let's put the timeline. Yeah, like put the timeline back in order. Like my Instagram
bubble don't get clicked on, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. So everybody's bubble doesn't make it. So, but that is the truth, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just see certain things on like social media, and certain things just don't add up. Like, they don't add up together at all. Like,
a lot of it is cap. Like, I remember when I was Amy Grindhouse, like the platform that I was writing for, like, they bought, well, I wouldn't say bought, but a lot of my followers were fake because they wanted, like
engagement.
I understand it for a business point of view, but for like just your personal sake, like,
I'd never.
Not even worth it. Like,
I'd never.
Crazy out here.
I would never do it. Like, and honestly, I can honestly say, like, I would never do it because it's not genuine. Like, if it's not
organic.
If it's not organic, it's not gonna grow as it's supposed to. So I don't know. I don't get it. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, people just accept that, like, social media, it is a facade. Hov said nothing unreal exists. And that definitely means something towards social media. That's a bar at social media. And if you understand it, then you understand it. If not, I guess you're just going to do a bit more thinking on it. But going from social media and engagement and things like that, whenever you think of some of the artists and just where music is going, and we have all these different subgenres now. We have subgenres of rap. Like, we have trap. We have like your Bryson Tillers of the world that rap sing. Like Zero. I truly believe that Zero was one of the original creators of the rap singing because he's been doing it since the 90s. A lot of people credit Drake to it. I'm not mad at that because he's popularized it. But you have all these different subgenres of like rap singing. You have your Rick Rosses that talk about like rap and inspiration, and not rap, but just like business. You know what I mean? You have your Lil Babies of the world that are like super trap. You have your Uzis of the world who are like, it's like rock star rap. You know what I'm saying? And even like you have your purists like Freddie Gibbs, people like Cole, he's a purist. You have people like Kendrick, who's I don't even know how to say the award name. He's a Pipester award.
We used to just call it conscious rap if it wasn't talking about weed, women, and
The
whatever.
club. Yeah,
conscious rap, or it was just rap.
Yeah,
like you said, there is a lot of different. Wow.
So, yeah, it's a lot of different subgenres, and as the internet opens up more and more and more, where do you think it really heads? Like, do you think that there's like a place where like some of those subgenres get eliminated, or do you think that it's just kind of like free for all, like Call of Duty? Like, do you think it's just free for all?
I think it's gonna be survival of the fittest, like, because within those subgenres, you got sub rappers. Like we were talking about how the Future hybrids and the Wayne hybrids and the Young Thug hybrids. So it's like it's trickling and trickling into this and this and that, and it's becoming overwhelming. I don't know if I'm getting old, but it's becoming overwhelming for me as a DJ, as a radio station person, like to even keep up with all the new shit, because I'm still listening to shit that came out last year, like for the first time. So it's like, come on. Yeah. But I think you really just have to be committed to certain artists to really keep up.
Agreed.
If that makes sense.
Agreed. No. Like it's definitely the truth, because you can tell who was raised by who. You know what I mean? And we're getting to this space in music now where you're seeing artists' children. Like you see Wayne's kids, you see Gucci's kids, you see 50's kids, you even see Boosie's kids. And I told somebody this yesterday. Boosie's direct son is DaBaby. Like, that is his direct son. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like musically, like some of the things that he comes up with, super animated. Like DaBaby is a mix of Boosie and Ludacris, especially like with his music videos. Like if you watch some of his music videos, like they're super like creative and outlandish.
Oh yeah.
And so that comes from like a tree of Ludacris to me. But I don't know. I think as things, and even the rappers of the world, the tree smokers of the world, Wiz, Spitta, June, Larry June, like Devin the Dude, they're Devin the Dude's children. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ask me, you know what I'm saying? So it's all these different subs. I think there's a space where all these different artists can win. It just has to be done right, and you have to present the correct music. So
definitely, and be organic and like create your own lane within a lane already. Like Larry June is the organic healthy pimp, nigga. And then you got Currency, he's still doing his thing, Jet Life, still smoking his weed, riding in his cars. Like, you're absolutely right. Just as long as you have a brand, stick to your brand and go with it. Don't try to be like nobody else unless you sonning them.
Right, unless you're sonning them. But that's just what it is. And recently there's this thing that's come about. I absolutely have no clue what the fuck is going on over here. But what is a NFT? And can you explain it to the people?
Non-fungible token. It's a NFT is okay, say boom. Example. This right here, let's say I drew this and I wanted to sell it and make some profit off of it. I can make this image an NFT, and niggas like you or my fans can purchase it with money through a blockchain. Now, blockchain is something different. Like, I'm still learning too, but I can give you kind of like a little thesis of it. So, blockchain is like the barrier where the money turns into crypto. That's the barrier that kind of separates the two, I guess, if you will, or like hosts the crypto to turn into NFT. So NFT is basically like it's memorabilia that you profit off of. But I'm still kind of trying to learn, like, it's a collectible item, but how are you profiting off of it? I can understand you profiting off of it if you're the artist, but as an owner of it, I don't know how that works.
Like if it depreciates like a car.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you gotta look at it as.
Yeah, because I've seen so many different things with NFT. I know Currency, he just talked about he was on Instagram Live, and I normally don't click on many people lives. I really don't. But I tapped in on Spitters, and he was sitting down with the owner of Bel Air Rose. And Spitter was just saying that him and some the Jet Life crew just wrapped up like their first NFT album. So I don't know exactly how that. I understand as like the seller how it profits, but like you say, like as the like the consumer, what does it really do for you like long term? And I read through the grapevine, Wu-Tang has this like this book coming, and Wu-Tang has like it's like a 300-page book, but it's all photos, like exclusive photos of Wu-Tang, like never before seen images and stuff like that, and they're getting ready to sell it. So as an NFT. So I have no clue what the fuck an NFT is. So I'm just trying to pick brains. I'm just trying to see what's going on.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I guess it's just another way of saying crypto, but in a collectible fashion. I don't know, but I'm gonna get into that's what Clubhouse is for. Like Clubhouse really like breaks it down and busts it down for you, like in our type of a language. Because who the fuck knows what a non-fungible token is? Like,
Yes. Right. And that's what like I don't know. It's just it's weird. Like crypto, NFTs,
it's
Bitcoin.
so new. It's still
Like
so new.
I
It's very new.
have no
So,
clue, but I don't know. More will be revealed as time just goes on in between.
but you
And
don't
then
want to wait too late. Like I don't want to personally wait too late. I'm like, fuck, I really need to like sit my ass down and like really try to learn this shit before it's too late. Like with the stocks and stuff, like when GameStop had that big ass like
surge.
fuck slipping.
Uh, I'm about to get into stocks. That's something, and whenever I get the correct info,
The NFTs is gonna make stocks go away.
really
Because stocks are owned by like, don't quote me, stocks are owned by like what the banks and stuff. They're still controlled by the government in some type of way. Now, blockchain is not. Blockchain is its own host. It's its own, because crypto can't be controlled by.
touch. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's why they're like, fuck stocks, fuck money, like paper money.
yeah,
We gonna get this crypto going. Like,
yeah. That's a fact. And then just to transition back into music here before we go ahead and wrap it up, here is what would you say you have you get a chance to make like your dream collaboration. You're the A&R for this, and you get a chance to put whoever in the room, and you get a chance to do, let's just say, 2 records. You know what I'm saying? Who are the people that you're calling up?
let me get my list.
You got a list on deck. I love that. I love that. There.
It wouldn't be Frio if I didn't.
That's a fact.
Bruh, I have so many drafts in my Twitter. So, okay, so man,
2 records.
2 records. Woo. All right, I'm gonna need Kanye. How many features? Does it matter?
It don't matter. It could be all the lights. You know what I'm saying? Like 30 people be.
I'm gonna definitely need a Kanye and Kendrick track. And then I'm gonna definitely need a Drake and a Frank Ocean track. So those would be the two. Like, give me that.
I like that. I like that
And
a lot.
if we could throw Andre 3 Stacks somewhere in there,
I'm sure Dre has a quick 8. You know what I'm saying? He got a quick 8 for anybody. Like, trust me.
So
I like that. I like that for sure.
a couple mil off of that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Talk about like Money Machine, Cash Cow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would you pick?
2 records. I would go, and it's crazy how this kind of happened, but I would say I would want one R&B record, and I've been sitting on this for like years now. I would go The Weeknd, and I would put John Legend, and I would have a female voice in the middle.
Ooh.
And I think the lady voice that I would prefer at that time a few years ago, it was it was Brandy. Brandy was the voice that I wanted there in the middle.
Okay.
Now I would want Kaylani's voice somewhere there in the middle, because I think that like her raspy voice, it would really like flow like her, well, Kaylani, the weekend, and then John Legend. So you have raspy, kind of like raspy with the weekend, and then like super high pitched with John Legend. I think therefore that just creates like a whole different like sound like all together. I would love it.
DJ Khaled shit.
Yeah. At one point before it was Kaylani, I wanted to hear just Bruno and the weekend together, but how things just kind of spun forward and we get Bruno and Anderson .Paak. Like, I'm not mad at that either with their band.
I still need to listen to that.
Oh no, it's a smoker. Like, trust me, like you will fuck with it. And my rap record, what I would do something for the club. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I would do something for the club or for the trunk of the car. I would go with Future. I would go with Lil Baby, and I would go with Prime Wayne. Like, so like Wayne in the middle of his like mixtape run, like destroying and just killing boys alive, because I truly believe Lil Baby is a son of Wayne. Like, some of his bars, some of his cadences, some of his flows, it sounds so Drought 3-ish, the drought is over-ish. Like, I hear it. And it may just be me, but I definitely do hear that coming from him.
No, I trust your judgment. Like, okay, I see where you're going with that.
Most def. So before we go ahead and wrap it up, like, anything going on? Like, do you have anything you would just want to shout out? Any people want to shout out, show love to?
Shout out to Finessing since '93.
Yup.
Me on the fat. So buy some. Also, shout out to the homie Saint Pat with the shirt.
Shout out.
Goat by Nature.
Come
I
like
that. Who else? Let's see. Shout out Heavily Plugged.
Family.
Shout out to everybody that fucks with me. Shout out to Rome for linking you and I together so we can be in this place together.
That's a fact.
And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Thanks for having me. Made me feel real cool today and popular. Like,
man, it's love. I had to get you on the show, and for real though, like, you're my first female guest. You're my first female guest host. I loved having you on. You know what I'm saying? And like, more and more, just as things develop, you know what I'm saying, especially as outside opens back up, and we're gonna get more albums, we're gonna get more music, because it has been a drought on music recently, especially since we can't go outside to really celebrate. But as more develops, festival season is coming back. Hopefully we get Astroworld, and if we get Astroworld this year, I don't care. I'll pay your way for you to come, like, be a part of Astroworld. I'll definitely make sure I will pay for your way, because
Travis live, bro. I have to.
Travis put on like the best show I've ever been to in my life.
I believe you wholeheartly.
Like, in my life, I've never seen anything like that. I've never been a part of like something that's just been wow. Like, like, you got ragers over here on this side, and you got like hip hop, like crunk, like in the club, like turned up shit over here on the side.
Mosh pit,
and like, you have the merchandise line. Like, boys were sitting in the merchandise line for like 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Literally 4 hours. Boys started selling their spots in line, but you have to come like to Astroworld. So if we get Astroworld, you're definitely going to come down. I will pay for your way to come down to be a part of this. No bullshit. This is on the record. This is being recorded, and I'm standing by it. So,
all right.
So for sure. And so,
to it.
Yeah, most definitely. So just like we said, to go ahead and end out the show. And like you said, thank you for always showing love, and salute Rome for linking us together. Everybody over at Heavily Plugged, y'all know it's love over there. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait to actually meet everybody in real life. You know what I'm saying? Just to show love. And so the hat store remains open. FinessingSince93.com. You can find hats, beanies, face masks, bucket hats. Maybe later on this year you might see some merchandise. We'll see. Some actual clothes. Yeah, so you never know. But as the late great Nipsey Hussle would say, the marathon continues. I definitely thank everybody for tuning in. You can find this over here on Spotify. You can find this on Apple Podcasts. Or you can listen to the video. You can watch and listen on YouTube. So I definitely salute everybody for checking this out. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with a friend, listen to it on a car ride, listen to it while you're at work. I definitely thank you again for tuning in, Frio. I definitely thank you for carving out time. I definitely thank you for real. And so shout out your socials. Shout out your social medias.
Y'all probably already know me, but you can go ahead and follow me at Jasmine Frio on Twitter and on Instagram. I don't fuck with anything else. I don't do Snapchat or anything like that. So yeah, if you want to hit me up, DM me. If you want to connect creatively, I'm all for it.
Most definitely. So until next time, y'all. Thank y'all for checking out the show. Until next time, peace.